La 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 la, wait till I get my money right.
What is going on, X? Welcome to Quantum Ascend. Gonna take a look at TEL fam. You guys have been amazing the whole time I've had this channel, which has been what, maybe 5 months now. You guys have been super supportive. So thank you guys for being a part of this journey. We have discussed some different targets here for TEL. I'm going to be a little bit more conservative in today's video because I want you guys to be very careful. So with that being said, we're going to talk about a conservative target. If we get up there quick, amazing, great, then we can talk about some extended targets. Originally, we were looking up here around that 27-cent level. That would be a full extension of this most current range that dates back to May of 2021. So over 4 years in the making here. But what we do have on a giant time frame is some Wyckoff accumulation. So you can see I have all the different points plotted out here. We had a secondary test in phase B that ends up being the last point of support. Build up to the sign of strength, build up to the sign of strength. That comes down into the automatic rally level, which is right here, and that is that blue line. Let me make this thing thick. So as you can see, this came down there and tapped it. Beautiful. And now we got our bounce. So sign of strength building here. What comes next is phase E. That's the acceleration phase, and that should get us up back at minimum around our last local high up there, which is at 6.5 cents. So that being said, let's get into the Elliott Wave part of it now. Real quick. From the low here, we got a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. That completed that move. We got our 5 waves down. This is a weekly chart. And right now, working on our 5 waves up. Wave 1 is done. Wave 2 looks done. And we're waiting on 3, 4, 5 to take us up, and away into the promised land during the alt season. So 3 waves to go. Where it goes, we're going to have to wait and see. But that's why I am going to be very conservative here on this call. There is a universe where 27, 28 cents happens. Right now, that's not going to be my base. I just want to tap into it a little bit here to show you guys why. So we had our 5 initial waves on a run up, right? Came back down. So what we could be doing on a macro time frame here is we had our 5 up, and now one of 2 things can be happening. We can be looking at like an A, a B, and a C, and this C leg would coincide with with a macro fallout across the board, global depression type stuff, not fun for anybody. Or what we have here is this actually, it went a little deep here, but it could be, if we inverse it, kind of like a crashing pattern, right? Where we have our 5 waves, we rolled back up a little high into the 4th wave, but it could come down to set one more high here, and that would be the end. So it is still unclear for the time being. We're going to say that this is an A, a B, and a C on a macro time frame. Bear with me. Don't get upset. This C wave here, if we look at this, C wave has to at least be the length of the A wave. This A wave was 1,300% from the bottom here. Or see where it says B, because this would be like a completed B wave. Where's 1,379%? Would you look at that? We have confluence with that right up here around the 702, around 4.6 cents. A little bit higher. This looks like 4.8 cents. So for the parameter to be met on an ABC, that's how that would have to look. You had 5 waves in the A. We're working on 5 waves in the C. Okay? So just keep that in mind there. I'm going to get rid of this. The other thing, too, is we want to take a look at this last drawdown here on the A to B leg here. Also our last 5-wave move. Well, what do you know? Where does that take us on this last drawdown? Right up there into that same range around the 702. This one a little short at like 4.4 cents. We were looking at 4.8 cents. That's 702 right in the middle at 4.6 cents. So I just showed you a couple different ways to get up to that level. One, in an ABC move, right? The C minimum needing to be that level. With fibs, a full extension of this current range gets us out there. And additionally, there's confluence on this 4-year range up there at the 702 as well. And how does that look structurally? Well, it looks like a macro A, B, C. If you don't understand Elliott waves, they're huge. Learn them. Between that and fibs, you should be able to paint a lot of pictures on your different alts, guys. Okay, so now we want to talk about, well, where are waves 3, 4, 5 getting us up here? How are we getting up there, right? And again, here's what I'm going to say before we get too deep into this, guys. If this third wave makes it up here, like look back here in this alt season, waves 3, 4, and 5 went absolutely nutty here, right? That can happen again. I'm not saying that it can't. First, I want to see this level get taken out. If our third wave here blasts off, third wave gets us up here, and then we're back testing, great. We're going the full extension. No brainer, no doubt. All right? So if that happens, we'll readjust. No problem. I just want you guys to have this in the back of your mind here and understand the conservative play. So on this next move, what I would be looking for if we're going this full extension here is we'd be looking to get up around like this 1618. We want to take out that A wave high, especially on a third wave move here. Let me zoom in a little bit. All right, we want to take this out. It could get stopped out a little short, which we've seen in the past, but typically how these move is we'll get up. That's the 1618 of this current range, and then we'll come back to either test that high or get back into this area. It can go as low as this first wave, and there would still be a technical clean move, okay? But typically, in this fourth wave in an alt-season environment, we're looking at a 35 to 50% haircut. TEL coin market cap is 480 million. Not a small coin, but not a huge coin either. So we can assume probably somewhere in the 40% range on a correction. Back down to that last high would be 31%. Right here at the 786 is 43%, and that 702, 47%. But I'm looking here, and I'm thinking, damn, 1 cent is a really nice round number, and it is a great psychological support level. So that 1 cent level, it would make total sense for us to back test that. And that puts us, we'll say, right at that 702 there just to make it clean. All right, 46% drop after that wave. We would then be looking to go off into a wave 5 to complete a macro wave C up there. We were saying like 4.4-ish cents. I believe we're going to go, we'd see a little bit of an extension there. I liked that 4.6 cent range we had on this entire thing when I drew this out. Right there at that 702, 4.6. So for the time being, that's going to be my conservative primary target, 4.6 cents. So how that would look is a wave 3 run up to like 1.8, 1.9 cents, a drop back down to a penny, and then a blow off back up to 4.6 cents. From a wave count or from a measurement perspective, that would put wave 1 at 140%. Wave 3 in this scenario would be 300% or a 4x, and then wave 5 would be 360% or a 4.6x. So for now, this is what I'm looking at. Again, if this third wave here gets extended and we're running up here on the third wave, which would be amazing, hell yeah, I am all for it. We will go back to the drawing board and we'll start talking about these targets up here, right? And then the count isn't an A, B, C. It's actually like a 6-7 wave to set off into new highs. It's just too soon right now to be able to tell. I would love to definitively give this to you either way, but the way we got to do it is start conservative. We hit these targets, amazing. We adjust wave 5. For the time being, this is what I'm going to be looking at here. So we're saying a wave 3 run up to 4.6 cents. No, that's wrong. We had it up here. A wave 3 run up to like 1.9 cents, a drop back down to a penny, and then a final fifth wave up to 4.6. You would be in profit on TEL at any point in time besides like a few days up here. So if you bought TEL at any of these other points, you're in the green. Right? And again, I know that this sucks. We don't like to look at this and be like, oh, it's not going to set a new all-time high. I've been holding this thing for 4 years. Trust me, I get it, man. I was in XRP for a while when it got sued by the SEC. And now, when's the last time that thing made an all-time high? Besides recently, 2017, right? So that went 7 years. This is only 4. So I'm not saying that this is definitively going to happen, right? I know a lot of people are just going to read what I put in the tweet and they're going to freak out. But you guys watching understand what I'm saying. Let's see what happens here on this third wave. This thing gets extended and we're flying up. Hell yeah, let's go. We'll fix those targets. For now, this is what I'm seeing, you guys, and I want you to be careful. I don't want anyone round tripping anything. That's the whole reason I put this channel together. So, oops. I made the Quantum Circle about a month ago. Real-time trades, access to my portfolio, 2 macro videos a day. I'm always on the Discord, and I'm teaching you guys how to do TA. The link is in my bio to that. If not, I'm just so happy you guys are here. If you could follow, like, repost, I want to help as many of you as I can before this thing really gets rocking. So I appreciate you. I hope you're having a great Monday. I'll talk to you guys in a bit.